Good evening.
Hey, John.
It's hey y'all.
Hello from the failed state of Canada.
Very sad to see that happen to you guys up there.
We're doing good. Nobody's dead yet. Michael.
Hey, Sean.
Thank you, Dan. Congrats on 50K.
Actually, it looks like 50,101, I think it was.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
They're laughing at my nobody's dead yet. I think anybody who's married and who's been stuck in quarantine will understand that. Thank God for alcohol. Thank you, Kevin. And Sean, after I sent out the newsletter, I got swarmed with so many emails. So I haven't talked to Chris about it, but he wants to know if you got the upper.
No, not yet.
Another half of the other night. At least you get half. Carrie said last time all he got was an elbow. Hey, Carrie. Divorce lawyers are going to become billionaires on quarantine lists. Absolutely. Like the famous line will be like, "I would divorce you if we weren't in a goddamn pandemic."
Carrie, we're trying to get to the range hopefully Monday, and we'll get going on that new Golf 5A that you Air Force guys like.
I think it's more than half. I think it's like 3/4. But look, another eyeball. See? At least it's not an elbow, Carrie. Nobody wants to see my face except you.
That's not true.
Well, we're going to have fun tonight. I'm drinking. I've got Chris to drink because we hit 50,000. I was hoping it would be a little bit sooner, but, beggars can't be choosy. And it was a big deal for us, especially if you regulars know we lost our original channel at 34,000 subscribers. So it's a great honor. The second channel came through and surpassed those original numbers and are hitting 50K. So it's for us, it's you're doing a good job, and we try to do better every single day. In fact, I finished editing. We both finished editing the new crime series. So
I think it's our best one yet.
I did give them in the newsletter. I said that the hint was Saturday. It's going to be up Saturday, but Saturday was also the hint. Your Saturday night special, your Ring of Fire. I personally think it is probably, as you guys know, crime series is my bread and butter. That is something that I am
her and Brandon
very wholeheartedly for, and I personally think this is the best one that's ever been done. So
actually, I was hoping to have Brandon in on this one, but we filmed late yesterday and he had to work, so unfortunately we weren't able to get him in on this one. But I do expect to get him on some of the ones coming up on the crime series, because it's good to have somebody who's got a perspective of now rather than 10 plus years ago.
But it's a good one, and it clocks in at 25, 26 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Colt. Is it part 5?
Yeah. Yes.
Part 5.
Part 5 for the final one.
I'm gonna try to get that one up midweek so we can get you guys more than one video. The problem is we do these really long videos, and as you guys know, they're really super long and detailed. So we have some good stuff coming up.
Y'all seem to really like the service carbine video. So I'm going to also be doing a service rifle video on my clones for service rifles. So that's something else you guys can be looking forward to, hopefully.
Patrick is asking about when we go live. Generally speaking, lately we've been doing every Thursday at 8:30. I try not to change the time or the date at all, just so that it's consistent. I would encourage you to tap the bell and make sure that you're highlighting all notifications on so that you'll get an alert when we're live. Generally, we have been going every Thursday at 8:30 Central Time. But unless there's something else going on, like last week was going into Mother's Day, so we took a few days off to head to the beach. So we didn't do one last week. But generally, it's almost every Thursday. At least twice a month, 3 times a month. We do have a newsletter you can go to at smallarmsolutions.com in the upper right-hand corner, and you can pop your email in there and subscribe to that. And I try to email everybody out the day of to also remind them. And we're also on Facebook at Small Arm Solutions, and I let everybody know then. That's funny. Saturday video. I know. Should make it live Saturday night. We're gonna kick off. What, do you have something to say?
Yeah. Hey Brent, this is geared at you. If you know anybody or anybody knows anybody who has a Colt LMG upper that they'd be willing to loan me and let me fire, please contact Heather. Uh, we did the video on the IAR. We have some interested in the LMG. So obviously I don't have an LMG upper, but if somebody can provide me with the upper, I can set one of Brandon's full auto lowers up with the open bolt mechanism, and we can do a video on that. But I got to try to find an upper receiver. So if you know anybody, Brent, or anybody else does, please let me know. I'll let Heather know.
Okay, we're going to get started. If you are on our Facebook page or our newsletter, I gave you guys the opportunity to submit questions early. We just ask that you make a donation to the channel. So these are all through DonorBox, and I'm going to pop this link in here. DonorBox only takes about 2% of a donation. Google takes 30%. So DonorBox is our preferred method if you would like to donate during the chat. Just to donate, or if you'd like to add a question to the comment section, I have my phone here, an email comes in, and you'll get priority over all the other questions. But you can also donate within the chat if you'd like, or also pull questions all throughout. So here we go. The first one is from Kirk. He has reminded me that I need to go check the P.O. box. He has sent you a late birthday present that went to our old box and then had to be transferred to the new one. So I have to go pick that up tomorrow. I already know what's in it, but I haven't told him. So
thank you so much.
I will email you when he gets that.
That's really great. Thank you.
He says, I hope you're happy with yourself after the Canadian video. I now want to build a C8A3. Here in the industrial Midwest, machining is a non-issue. Obviously, it will be accurate parts. What is the prognosis for such an endeavor on scale 1 easy to 10 impossible? What say you?
If you want original parts, it's damn near impossible. Unless you know somebody who imports and who knows tricks to get stuff imported. I don't know how to do it. I mean, as I said, those parts that I got was a combination of luck and being in the right place at the right time many years ago. If I wanted to try to build like I say a C7 A2, I would to start trying to get those Canadian parts any longer. It's really a shame that those parts can't be imported. They're awesome parts. It's very sad to see that Colt Canada can no longer produce for the Canadian public. It's terrible. But no, it's not going to be easy. I can tell you that. And I probably would say at level of 1 to 10 difficulty, I'd say 12.
Sean said he checked the tracking number. It's been in Houston since yesterday, so hopefully you get it tomorrow. He paid for 2-day shipping.
Well, thank you. Jeez, I really appreciate that.
The mail's been so off with what's been going on. It's so off. Steve, thank you for your donation on DonorBox. I will be looking for your questions as always. Patrick on DonorBox, the same. I haven't seen, there was no question on there. So if you have a question, please let me know. You can also email it to me at hbartacci@smallarmsolutions.com. Like I said, I have my phone here. So jack of all trades.
I'm picking up a lot of stuff from Brandon tomorrow. So we got, let me see how we got, I have a series I'm going to be doing for y'all on building our ARs on a budget. Basically the ARs that are relatively inexpensive. I'm going over the ones I think are probably the better ones. So we got, I think, probably 3 of those rifles coming in from there. We're going to have one coming up on the Glock 17M. Boy, I don't even remember. Brandon's got several things.
It was really so bad when we were filming yesterday because it was like they were everywhere. They were everywhere. I was like, and then they were in my bathroom too. They were everywhere.
Well, as you find, why do you need so many guns? It's like, you do these videos, I'm going back and pulling stuff out. It's more of a reference collection than anything else. That anytime I do a video, for instance, we're going to be doing some stuff with the LMT coming up. We're going to be doing a test on a very rare barrel. LMT made a very small run of MRP barrels in 7.62 by 39. We're going to be having one of those. That should be coming in very soon. So you guys can take a look at that. So I had to go pull stuff out for that. For this retro, the clone rifle carbine, I had to go pull out all the rifles for that. So yeah, it's actually quite a bit. It's quite difficult digging through to find all that stuff.
Craig, thank you. What's your opinion on the HK P30 and the P30L as a relative option in 2020, and anything else you can add as info on the firearm? I don't know if that's supposed to be P31 or L.
Let me pull that up. Let me make sure. I think I know which one it is. But I was
second one?
Yeah, the P30. I'm picturing it in my head, but I just want to make sure I'm not thinking of the wrong one. Oh, okay, that's exactly what I thought it was. Oh, they're beautiful guns. H&K has gone a long ways to catch up for as far as being, striker fired. However, they are still a company that's making, you know, the external hammer. Um, I think that I can't think of anything that's wrong with it. I'll be the first one to tell you I'm really a USP fan. I don't own any of the P30s or any of the other ones. The only HK pistols that I own are the USPs, a 9 or 40, a 45 tactical, and a Mark 23 cruiser pistol. But I've done videos on all. In fact, I'm pretty sure there is a video I've done on that you'll be able to see all my thoughts on that. So you should be able to find that one. But I think I did a full video on that one.
Let's see. I've been looking to double single action pistols. What's your opinion on the P30 DAO?
Well, the DAO or the SIG LEM, those are all if that's what you're certainly looking for. You know, quite frankly, I'm more a fan of the traditional single like the Beretta or the SIG. Um, they still have their place. Some people like striker and some don't. There is one benefit that always goes with those double action is you have that double strike capability. If you have a round that doesn't, the primer doesn't go off, how often that happens? Not very much, but that's one of the the big benefits. You know, um, Over the years, because again, I've always been a Glock guy. I've carried Glock, but prior to that, obviously, I was a big Beretta guy and nine guy. And one of the things that I learned relatively quickly once the Glock came out, even though I've been training on the M9 all those years, I did like the trigger pull being the same every time, because with the M9, if I pulled double action, I knew I was going to pull high, and I knew I knew I was going to pull low, and I knew as soon as went over to the single action, I was going to pull high because now I'm expecting that heavy pull. It got to the point where when I trained, as I drew the holster, the pistol out of my holster, I cocked the hammer back so I would have the same trigger pull, and that's the one thing I liked about the Glock, and probably why I've stayed with it is I do like that. But that's why they still make all these, so you can choose whatever you want. But also, for as far as double action, having a nice trigger pull, the SIGs are traditionally relatively heavy. The Beretta M9 always had a much nicer trigger, I thought, than the P226. But you have a lot of options out there as well. The FN series, and I mean, everybody offers both for the most part these days.
Walter wants to know, would you take an M14 over an M1 Garand if you were transported back to World War II, ammo and mags included?
Well, obviously, it's better to have 20 rounds than 8. Um, I do like the Garand for its time. It was an excellent rifle. There's no question that it was the most reliable semi-automatic rifle that was out during World War II. I just felt that they should have gone with a BAR magazine in it to give you the 20 round capacity. But to me, the 20 round magazine would be much of a benefit over the 8, even though the 30-06 cartridge today you can get pretty much 30-06 results out of a 308 with the modern day propellants. So if that was the case, you wouldn't see much of a difference between the two. But if you're going to make me have to make up a choice, I'd probably have to say the M14 just because of the 20 round magazine.
Well, this is an interesting topic that's gotten a lot of opinions. I think I know what his opinion is going to be, but who would you say is the most influential firearms designer in history? Mikhail Kalashnikov, Eugene Stoner, John Browning, Samuel Colt, or Glock? And Glock, the guy from Glock is.
The problem is you're looking at people from all different eras. If you're looking at the last century, first half of the 20th century, I would say Browning. Last half of the century, I would say it would be Stoner or Kalashnikov. And if you're looking at for handguns, there's no question you're looking at Sam Colt around the 1911 time period, and then for modern day, you're looking at Mr. Glock. It's you're looking at different eras. It's hard to say who was most significant because weapons have changed so much over the last 150 years. They've changed a lot over the last 50 years. If you were to put last century this into quarters or sixths, and you'd be able to see, in that time period, it's hard to say who forever, but I will tell you that Browning's got nothing on Stoner. Stoner his longest serving service weapon in our military history is the M16 M4, and you look at how that's been carried over to the sniper rifles, DMR rifles. You know, what Browning did, with the exception of right now, is like the M2 machine gun. Everything else he did, you're looking at, prior to Vietnam. This stuff was phased out. So yeah, he was definitely the last half of the last century. He was no doubt king. But as his weapons got phased out, other newer guys came in, and they've revolutionized, different weapons platforms.
That was a really long way of saying all of the above.
Mm.
What's the Glock guy's name? He's
Gaston,
like on the tip. Okay.
Gaston Glock. He looks like.
I've met him.
What's the guy from Simpsons? The boss.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He looks just like him.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Not Smithers, but Smithers' boss. He looks just like him, I always thought.
He's not a bad looking guy.
No, he's not.
I mean, those Glock parties, like back in the day, were so epic that he did for SHOT Show. They were literally like old school. Like if you guys or any of you are from up north and you have a high Italian population, it's like an old school Italian wedding. Mm-hmm. I mean, just buffets as far as the eye could see. 500 people.
It was very exclusive back then. When you have them now, there's so many people there. It's you're waiting in lines, you're running out of stuff, you're sitting on the floor. Back in those days, it was invitation only, and it wasn't. We don't go to them anymore because they're just so big. They're so big, and you're lucky to find even a place to sit now. Back then, it was very different.
Yeah, it wasn't like that back when I went, but it was like shrimp towers and like open bar and then they would have all these performers that would come out like Cirque du Soleil stuff and like
Mr. Burns, that's right.
It was incredible, but that was like the heyday back then.
Yeah.
Remember, it was the girl, the drunk lady who was flirting with him and like trying to pull him out onto the dance floor. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that was what I sat on my lap too.
Yeah.
And I looked at you, I was like, I
took care of it.
Yeah, she took care of that.
Heather, what are you drinking tonight? I actually made a Moscow Mule.
I don't know what the hell that is.
I've been in quarantine too long. Wine's just not going to do it. I just had to go straight for the vodka. Best way to remove globs cosmoline from a rifle, especially when it's slathered into the barrel. He is familiar with that.
Well, probably one of the best ways is to get some gun scrubber or get some G96. Their scrubber, spray it down the barrel and spray it as best as you can. Unfortunately, a lot of that stuff you're going to have to just scrub off. But those degreasers help quite a bit with that.
His buddy had one buried there was the AK, right?
Mm-hmm.
For like years and years, like packed in it, and he finally talked him into getting it.
And that took me God knows how long. Of course, I didn't really know how to do it back then.
Yeah, that's why I figured you would know.
We got that one.
I know. Any experience with the Superlative Arms external piston retrofit kit?
Nope, not yet.
Do you have any experience with LMT's entry for the SMG contract, and do you think they will release it to the public?
No, I don't. I know they had a 9mm. I'm not sure what they had produced for that. They had not made any effort to bring that one public, and I don't know if they do. I mean, he's working on a lot of military stuff right now still.
Gary's laughing at me saying, "Vodka, it's been a long quarantine. It's been long. I need to hang out with other people besides the people that are in this house." Like, that's all I'm saying.
Thank you, John.
No question. Just thank you for the
appreciate it.
Thank you, John. Chris, were you ever into reloading?
Yes, I was majorly. I started that when I was like 15. I had done that right up. I ended up having to give that up about it was when we moved to Rochester, so I would say 15 years ago. Yeah, Sophia was one.
At least 15 years.
So it was about 15 years ago.
I think when he started writing Black Rifle, which was longer than 15 years ago, but he still had the stuff, but then it started slowly going away.
Yeah,
He
but
just couldn't. He
the
didn't have the time
well, it
and his
wasn't even
hands.
the arthritis ended up getting to the point where it was so bad I couldn't do the work anymore with the small pieces and everything. I was majorly into it. In fact,
Yeah.
when we lived in Wisconsin, believe it or not, around Milwaukee, we couldn't find a range. So when I was there for 5 years, we were there. I worked for the crime lab there. So basically, all I did was reload, and then when we go home to visit Rochester, I go back to my gun clubs and shoot there. And I did thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds. I really did enjoy it. Unfortunately, once arthritis hit, I had to pretty much stop.
Indiana vodka is apparently yummy. You have to send me some. I need it. I stick to Tito's usually. Um, Texas girl. I am considering purchasing a complete upper for my AR-15 from Adams Arms with a P-Series piston system, low mass BCG, M-lock handguard, and proof research barrel. Have you used them, and are they worth the price?
I'm not fond of having a lightweight bow carrier with a piston system like that. Adams Arms would not be one of the top ones that I would recommend. There's another company out there, Black Rifle. Oh my God, why is that? Black Rifle Armory. I don't have that bolt carrier here anymore. It's Black Rifle Armory or something along those lines. I think that's it. They make a beautiful piston kit with a good bolt, well made, well adjustable. I did a video on it. You can certainly look it up. I would highly recommend that one. Well over the Anderson. The you need mass to slow down the carrier on its way back to prevent having failures to extract. Everybody wants to keep going lighter, but it's got consequences to the mechanics of it. I would not recommend that one. I would go if you can still find the original Ospreys. The Ospreys were excellent also. I do have a video on that as well. Take a look at that. I do believe those are still available too. There's just much better options.
Of course, I know Tito's is from Austin. It's still Texas. Mo, thank you. The CZ75 pistol. Have one, and do you like it or not?
I do not have one. I have used them quite a bit. They are excellent pistols. I do believe I have a video on it as well. A CZ75 has been copied by many places, Tenfolio, and probably the Cadillacs of the C75s are the Jerichos. They're excellent pistols. The original C75, the only thing I didn't care for about them was there was no decal on them. That was really the only thing. But durability, reliability, they were excellent. The Jerichos, again, that's just the Cadillac of the CZ75. I do like them very much.
For everybody that is reminding other people in the chat to hit the like button, please do so. It helps us out, and it doesn't cost anything. Like the t-shirt. Thank you. That is one of our new SAS designs. I've ordered a few of them for him. This is the first one that actually came in. He really likes it.
The other one is what I'm really excited about.
This is the one that this is the one that he wanted.
Yeah.
It also has the SAS logo large in the back because somebody in the chat one night said, "Hey, can you make some shirts with the logo big in the back?" And so that's what we did. And the logo is enhanced, so it's a higher graphic and resolution. It just looks cleaner and nicer. And he loves this. This is my peace symbol. We have one's bolt because Chris has a bolt face tattoo on his arm, and also because he is the AR-15 god. And then we have one that we came up and collabed with together. It was something that I had always kind of saw. He sent me a picture of a gun that is one of his guns, and I was able to silhouette it and do some cool graphics to it and everything.
Came up with a catchphrase too.
And then I inserted our logo on the gun. So you get a small logo on the gun, the silhouette of the gun. And then he came up with, go for it.
Piece is measured in meters.
He's very proud of that.
And the rifle silhouette is the LMT New Zealand rifle.
Yeah, and there's nothing on the back of that one. It's just a gun and comes in. He's very excited because there's a bright orange hoodie.
I thought it was a cool catchphrase.
Bright orange hoodie that he can get in.
I like bright. So yeah, I love orange. So
he'll be rocking that in the fall. You'll be seeing that. So I have to order him that one too. I've ordered the other ones, but that one was late put together. Heather, have Chris model it for us. You can get up and twirl. Why don't you get up and stand up and show the back? See, he doesn't follow
Can I
directions.
see it?
Yeah, they can see it. But those are on Teespring, and go check them out if you want to rock some fast merch. Okay, thank you. Thoughts on PTR 32? It's an HK 91 that takes AK Mags.
I am familiar with it. However, I've been trying to get one from PTR for about 2 years now without much luck. I've not given up on it. I will be trying to get one of those again. Everything I've heard about it's been good, but I have not had a chance to pull a trigger on one myself. But again, I have been trying to get my hands on one of those. That's been on my list.
We've got to do something about one sitting situation. I say this every single time. It's ammo. I can't even pull my feet in. Yeah. They said your tag was sticking out. And Chris had to work it.
My what is my tag?
Yeah.
Christ.
Patrick, thank you. Why is that most 6.5 Creedmoor barrels are 20-inch plus and not 16-inch or smaller? How does it compare in shorter lengths to that of a 7.62?
With the 6.5, you need to burn propellant. And if you have 20 inches or under, well, really 22 or under, personally, I would go into 22 or 24 inch on a 6.5 Creedmoor. That's the difference that with that cartridge. To get the maximum performance out of it, you want a longer barrel. With a 7.62, for the most part, your propellant's going to be all burned up within 18 inches, between 16 and 18 inches. So that's why you need a longer barrel on a 6.5 Creedmoor versus a 308. I know that because I had made some inquiries about that to several companies, and that's what they told me. Because I was looking for a 16-inch barrel version in a 6.5 Creedmoor. They said you would have a humongous flame out of it, and you wouldn't have the accuracy with it. So that's your answer.
Now, Sam, I'm going to pull your question, but I'm going to pull the save questions because Sam's been trying to give you a hard time about the M14 in here. I think he made his comment, I've lost it, but it was something about he wished that you were a size medium 14, so every day when you pulled your shoes on that it would say M14.
No, God was not that cruel to me.
He wants to know, is SIG P320 good to go? It seems like SIG has used their customers as beta testers and quality control lately. I really like the design, but concerned about long-term durability.
The problem's definitely been fixed. I have to say with SIG, some of you guys will disagree with me on this. SIG is one of the few companies right now that is constantly putting out new product on all fronts. And no matter how good your process is, things can get by you. And sometimes they don't know it until something goes wrong. And unfortunately, when that generally happens, it happens in the commercial market. So I guess I wouldn't say you're being used as a beta tester. There are things that have escaped them. And what's really more important than anything else when these things happen is how the company handles it. They didn't try to cover it up or hide it under the rug like Remington did with those bolt actions. As soon as they heard of the situation, they put the recall out, they notified people, and they took care of it. So I think you really got to give them a credit for the way that they handled it. They took care of the problem. I have had some P320s and some M17s and some the M18s where I've shot the hell out of them. There's no issues. Anything that you buy today the problem's going to has been corrected a long time ago. You're not going to have any problems with it.
Sorry, I didn't just kick somebody else, so I lost my spot.
She's sniping tonight.
You two have an awesome channel. Keep moving ahead. Hello from Utah. And do you have an experience with Wolf Gold 223?
I have 5 boxes of it sitting behind me. Those are the first 5 boxes I've ever got from Wolf. And that was more recently. So I have not yet had a chance to shoot it yet. So ask me that question again in maybe a month.
I'm in a country where I can only carry 380 pistol for self-defense. What is the best 380 pistol you recommend?
Well, the first 380 I bought was the Beretta 85F. Now, a lot of people didn't like them because they were big. They were bigger compared to some of the other ones. However, they were reliable as hell. Never jammed. It was a 380 that you could have that you could use for target shooting because it was designed that way. It's not like a Brico or Jennings or a Lawson or a Davis where the gun's going to break. It's a very, very well made pistol. That was my first choice. Fortunately, what ended up happening was I still carried my 92, and I ended up giving the 85 to my brother. And then when the Glock 42 came out, I ended up getting that, which is one that I carry today. I have them for many many years when I don't want to carry a bigger gun. I love it. There's a lot of nice threes that are out there. The Sig, Sig has them. There's several nice ones out there. My favorite really has always been the Beretta. It's just I have big hands, so it fit me beautifully, reliable. Beautiful trigger compared to anything else that was out there. And I remember one time doing a little bit of a shooting match with a buddy of mine with a Sig P230, and my brother beat him pretty good. But that's my favorite, but still to this day. For the Beretta 84, you got 12 or 13 rounds instead of the 8 that the 85 had. But the one I ended up purchasing was the Glock. That's what I use now.
3 trolls right done in a row. Boom, boom, boom. I was like, dang, okay. They must have sent out a newsletter from some like living in your parents' basement, like let's all go after the live stream. I think you hit that light when you were doing your shirt because it's like shining right on your face. I don't know if you want to turn it a little bit away from me. So you're not so
illuminated.
Yeah. Next to the sun. I received my SAS sticker. Can it be placed outside in the elements in a car window? I don't know about the ones on Teespring. I would have to look at those, but the ones that you can get from me, those are ones that you can put on your car, on mugs, put in a dishwasher. They're vinyl coated and waterproof. So those, if you got it from me, because I've sold many stickers to you guys. But the ones through Teespring, I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to look at it. If you want to send me an email, I'll look at it for you and answer that for you. But if you got it from me personally, where I shipped it to you and you sent me the money, then yes, you can absolutely put it on your car. Sean likes the pieces measured in meters.
I thought it was clever.
Do you think the Colt ACR has the best chance of winning the ACR program due to its ability to use 5.56?
The ACR program is long gone. That's been quite some time ago. The IAR program is what you're referring to, and Colt unfortunately had lost that, and they didn't deserve to. The IAR should have been the Colt version, not the HK, in my opinion. And that's also coming from a lot of people who did the testing. That was unfortunately very political, and the gun they got was not as good.
What do you think about the Bren 2 and 7.62 by 39? Is it worth the cost, or go with a 5.56 to get the most out of accuracy potential?
I have the Bren 2 MS in 7.6. I'm sorry, in 5.56, which you'll be seeing. I've also got one of the Bren 2 carbines on order. I have not pulled the trigger on the 7.62 by 39 version. I have heard nothing bad about it whatsoever. I mean, I can endorse something I haven't shot myself. Everything I hear, it's excellent. They've got they did get the magazine right. For as far as having a magazine that you can insert like an AR, but it has a proper curve to it, they got that right. Where trying to convert a AR into that caliber and using the AR converted magazines has not been as successful, but they did it right. At some point, I do hope to get my hands on one of those in 7.60 by 39 and do a video on one.
Sam wants to know, what is my favorite firearm? Back in the day, like when he first took me shooting, he's actually the first person to take me shooting.
She was from Texas.
Yeah, he assumes everybody is gun toting from Texas. We own guns. My whole life we did, but I never shot. But also, like as kids, you didn't grow up going to a range. It was just like you were in your friend's backyard and shot squirrels or whatever. But I'm sure I shot a BB gun, but never a firearm. But back then, I liked the AK. I really loved the AK.
The 74.
Yeah, I really liked that. Now, he's going to totally flame me. I'm just waiting. You don't even go to the range. I actually enjoy, much to his dismay, the SIG P320.
Okay, I got one. I got a couple of them.
There's an area of the range that we go to where they have
Steel.
the steel targets, and I can shoot that and barely aim, and I can just make those suckers just spin and just go. So I really like that. I've been saying for a really long time that I want to fire the SIG. Was it 320 to 325?
I mean, yeah.
Unfortunately,
I couldn't get her out. I couldn't get her out to the range with it. However, whenever she does decide to grace me with her presence again at the range, Brandon's the one that ended up buying that one, so I'm sure I can borrow it, and we can take it out to the range. And if she likes it,
I've just been hit with too many spent cartridge cases.
And if I can get her to the range, and then I can get her to get her CHL, I'll get her one.
Oh, now you're really pressing it.
That's what she wants. Hey, if it works for her, hey, I don't care what it is.
He's just really difficult. Like I am a girl's girl. So he won't tell me. Like he'll pick up a gun out of nowhere and just start shooting, and the cartridges will start hitting me, and I'll just be like, "Well, God, you didn't even tell me."
It's hard because I don't even think about it. Those of you guys who shot forever, you always know it's all
it's just take care of your ladies.
Yeah, I know it was part of.
Or they won't go to the range with you.
True.
Because I'm like, that really hurt, and like I have a bruise like on my face, and he's like, happens. That's the range. So it doesn't really incite me to want to go.
I'm used to being pelted and having blow down my shirt and all that kind of stuff. I guess I don't even think of it just because I've been doing it so long.
Yeah. I have a lot of friends' husbands who want them to get CHLs too. So
CHL is concealed handgun license here in Texas. Pistol permit, if you want to call it that. What we call it CHLs here.
The LW50 stainless, is it a real improvement over a 416R or marketing hype by
which one was
Lothar Walther? This LW50 stainless, is it real improvement over the 416R or is it marketing hype by Lothar Walther?
I think it's marketing hype. I don't believe that it's any better than anything else. Everybody has to have their own unique thing that's only theirs, that they can market and sell to you as being the best thing in the world. But I don't believe that it's any better than anything else that's out there.
Carrie says I should get the SIG M18, which is a 320, but it's the USAF version.
I have a video on that one, so you can take a look at it. Did a pretty
extensive video. He's saying I should go and shoot.
I've got it. I've got one. So whenever I can get her to the range, she's got one to shoot.
Whenever he's nice to me and takes me to the range, doesn't hit me with firearms. Spent cartridges like down my shirt, and I'm like burnt up.
I have to take her when we're not filming, and then that way I'll stay on the left hand side of her while she shoots, and then she'll know.
I think he can totally, co-sign on this. It's a whole different experience when you go to the range and you're there to shoot for fun, and you're there to shoot things that you want to shoot. It doesn't involve filming, and when you start getting into just going to the range to film, it becomes, well, I mean, it's work. So, yeah. My lady is mad at me. She got a heart cartridge in her shirt and got stuck, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Oh, I know exactly what you mean. Our son, who does a lot of range filming for me to save me the hassle, he actually has a piece of metal in his chin. So, yeah. Hey, Pistol Pete. I feel like I never see you.
Hey, Pete.
Why doesn't the LMT MWS 3.0 come with a barrel longer than 16 inches?
They do. You can get 308 barrels in, let me see, 13, 16, 18, 20. You can get four different lengths. You can get them also chrome plated or regular match grade steel. Yeah, they make them in all different ones.
Thoughts on the HK VP9 and its reliability? Some channels have called into question its reliability in dirt and water. Is the Glock 19 still your top choice?
Well, actually, the G45 is now my top choice. It's what I carry now. I did a video on the VP9 a long time ago. Now, I don't put these things in water, because it's not practical for what we're doing. I don't see it being any more or less reliable than anything else that's out there. It's basically a Glock that's had some reconfigurations to it. I would not worry about what other people are saying about that for as far as those kinds of scenarios, unless you're planning on doing that to your gun. The VP9 has been very, very successful. It's probably one of the first HK pistols that's reasonably priced. It's accurate, reliable. I put a lot of different kinds of ammunition through it. I couldn't offer any critiques on it. It's very, very well made. So if it's something that you like, I would tell you to go for it.
Thoughts on the Army trying to field a new rifle to accommodate a new 6.8 caliber?
This is one of those things that, again, people ask me what I think about it. I don't think too much of it until I actually see they're actually purchasing them. I'm not going to get too excited over it. They've been trying to replace the M16 M4 series for over 60 years now, and they haven't changed it because there isn't anything out there that's really a significant leap. For them to switch to a new platform and a new caliber is a major, major, major undertaking. It's not like that we're going, from a fixed carrying handle to a flat top where all the major components are going to be compatible. So it's not going to cause any kind of logistical burden. This, you're talking about an entire new logistics chain, all retraining, having to start, knowing what tier is going to start with getting the weapon to them going down, and you're talking about many years to convert over to a new platform. So until I see an actual purchase order, I'm not going to get too excited over it.
What is your favorite submachine gun? I am partial to the MP40, and then my next choice would be an HK MP5.
I like the SIG MPX. I am not an MP5 fan. I like the Colt SMG over the MP5. The MP5, granted, it's classic, history. Everybody loves them. The human engineering on them sucks. For as far as having to reload them, using the selector, it's horrible. It's not a very fast gun to reload. So the ergonomics is terrible on it. The Colt SMG, excellent ergonomics, a lot of recoil because it's blowback. The SIG MPX has the best of all worlds. And another option would be it's relatively new, so it hasn't really had the testing, is the rail delayed blowback system of the CMMG. Those are the ones that I prefer ones myself. However, the Colt SMG is proven. But yeah, and my buddy Henry Chanover in Whole Review was a big MP5 fan, and I know Brandon, the gunroom, is too. But it's somebody who's used all these different weapons in the past significantly, a lot of round counts. I just don't like the human or the ergonomics of the MP5.
My fiance grabbed my scope and started to adjust the elevation turret, and I loudly said, "What are you doing?" And she hasn't been back since.
Heather doesn't touch things; it's not hers.
What I was doing anyway. One of the worst things that probably happened to me, other than Carrie's gun that we fired, the GAW, that sucker was over gas and it was shooting.
No, that
cartridges.
was the Daewoo K1.
Oh, the Daewoo, yeah, and it was throwing cartridges like 30 feet.
Yeah, I knew the next.
And I clocked one in the corner of my eye and had like a massive bruise there for like a week. Thank God. I had glasses on, but still. Probably one of the worst things he's ever done to me out of the range. Because when we go, we're alone. There's no one else there. So we first got there.
You remember? It's been like 2 years.
Oh no, I remember being. I remember ear trauma. So laying out all these guns and everything, and my job is pretty much everything: social media and marketing and photographing and like doing all this stuff. And so everything was just being loaded out, and I started to take photos and put things up on Instagram, and I was kind of like leaning forward on the table. Well, he picked up a gun literally closer than he is now and just started firing it. I didn't even have ear protection on.
Yeah, that wasn't one of my finest hours.
So that's generally what I endure when I go out there. So maybe I'm just traumatized. Is it okay to modernize an SP1 luminous paint on sights, addition of carry handle M1913 rail to attach a red dot and replacement of handguards with ones with rails, or is that too blasphemous?
To be perfectly honest with you, anything that's Colt right now, especially something that old, I would not modify it. I would leave it right the way that it is, just because that SP1 at some point is going to be a curio and relic. It's going to be, and right now they're valuable collectors items. I would not modify that at all. I would buy a different rifle and build it up like you want it. Those are just too valuable, in my opinion, right now. All the Colts that I have, with the exception of my my SBR, my 6944, everything else is the exact same configuration that it was purchased. Nothing's been modified on them. That's just to keep them valuable and their original condition.
We have a donation on Donor Box. Thank you. I think his name is Panzer. He says, "Can you please write volume 3 of Black Rifle? And will you be my dad?"
I would, we thought about the Black Rifle 3 for quite some time. What you probably don't know is that the publisher of that series, Collector Grade Publication, Blake had passed a couple years ago. And when Blake passed, Collector Grade Publications, no more new titles. Right now, his wife has it, and she's continuing with titles that they currently have, but she's not young. I don't know. I'm a little concerned because the last invoice I got from my book, they only had like 50 something books left, and of that third printing that they'd done. So once those are gone, I don't know if she's going to reorder or not. So I'm sort of concerned if my book's going to be going on. So I don't have the publisher. And it's been a lot of times I actually had put together a skeleton of what I thought it was going to be. But
Even if Blake was here today, he would still not. We would still. The only thing that because I've been pushing him to do it, but the only thing I can say is Blake was definitely reinforcement. He would call him up all the time and be like, "Hey, do you have a copy of the new book? Hey."
Well, as I said, I do have. I got a file. I've got some of the stuff. I do have stuff that is written down. But you know, the whole point of it would be a Black Rifle 3, and there's no more Collector Grade publication. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen in the future?
The Armor's Manual, well, yes, it will be printed. We own the publishing rights and everything.
No, that's different.
Somebody actually emailed me about that today because they didn't want to order it from Amazon because they're anti 2A. But the thing is, a lot of places are anti 2A, and so most of the places you use every day are anti 2A. And there's not. I mean, that's like saying, well, we can't be on YouTube because they're anti 2A. It's like there's no way around it. We don't keep stock of that. That's something that is published on Amazon, and they do the publishing for it, and we receive royalties from it. I do have people that will send them to me if they would like press to sign them, and I always say you're more than welcome to do that. Send it to the PO box, and we don't. That's not anything we charge for. I just ask for the $4.50 for media mail to return it. So, but it's not something that we publish in house and they wanted to purchase. But no, that will always be up on Amazon. Any recommendations for a long range precision AR-15 grip?
I have a main grip that if I replace a factory grip, a Magpul Myad goes on it, and I use a large back on it. To be honest with you, that's all I replace them with is the Magpul Myad. I know there's some that are supposedly they have the grip on the bottom, so it squishes your hand down and all that good stuff. But I solely use the Magpul Myad.
Walter says, Heather, tell the kids to get off the internet. They're getting lag. It's actually been in this area. It's not just our house. It's pretty much everybody's house. We pay for the best of the best of the best to internet to support the business and these chats and stuff. Everything's been a little off since coronavirus. Like everything's been off. Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed with apps and things just not working, and they're still charging us, but it's not working right. Yeah. He said, stand on the, don't want to take brass down the shirt because, that ruins the filming and the shot. He wants to see the cartridge.
People want to see. People don't want to see the left-hand side. They want to see the right-hand side.
So
I've been called out on that before. That if I shot, I do it from the left-hand side.
If I say to him, like, where does this eject at? Is it going to be this 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock? And he's like, I don't know. So I just got to stand there and just take it until I can adjust. And I'm just getting hit. And so sometimes I'm a horrible filmer because I'm just like, ow, ow. I'm running. It's like, thank God for Rocco because he really steps it up and saves the day for that. Do snub nose revolvers still have a place for Joe Public?
Sure, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. For somebody who wants a pistol or a revolver, they don't want to go to the range. They don't want to practice. They want something that's going to be reliable. That something if the round doesn't go off, they just pull the trigger again. It's an excellent option. if someone is to use an automatic, they need to train with it. They need to know how it works. They need to know how to load it, unload it. They have to be able to have the strength to load it and unload it. For somebody who does not want to train, they just want to go out, fire it once or twice, and then keep it. What they can do is they can get one of those, a revolver, get one with an internal hammer, so you don't have to worry about cocking and decocking. That's an excellent option. There's some really good 38 special ammunition now, or 57, whatever you decide to use. Um, I don't own any, myself, because I train a lot, so I don't have one. But they are definitely good for people who don't want to uh, train. No, they don't want to go to the range constantly.
I think I'm at 5. Take it off.
Oh, she's sniping them. She's got
It's
five.
just like little.
Five confirmed.
It's like little kids or something. I kept getting a Smith Enterprises Vortex for my IWI Ace 308 rifle. I combined it with the Midwest Industries full-length handguard, and what a difference.
It's the best flash suppressor on the market. Everything everybody's coming out with, nobody, in my opinion, has been able to beat it.
I swear a lot of people like the MP5 just because of the tactical slap.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot what it's to do with it. It's the history behind it, and you've seen them on TV and seeing them used in the 70s and whatnot. There's a lot of that tradition type stuff where, when you really look at something objectively, and you have to decide what's going to work better for me. What's going to be better, what am I going to be more efficient with? That's not where the chips generally fall. That the chips fall on that one. I know Henry would go nuts if he heard this. That's for the people who like the old school, just nostalgia of the MP5.
Do the M16A2 carbines like the 727 and 723 have 6-hole handguards or 7-hole?
I believe there's 6.
I would have to check. For the C8SFW.
The Canadians, that's the proper one. That's the Colt TDP. Those are the Colt drawings for those. So whatever those are, but the material is really the big difference when you feel the material. Like I said, if you were to see an actual Colt single heat shield and you were to compare that to one of the reproductions, you can jump on the Colt and it ain't gonna break. The other ones will flex. The quality is very different. Colt stopped making those in 2009.
Steve says he finally got both copies of his books.
Oh, good.
Like I said, if anybody ever wants an autograph, you can always send them in, and I'll be happy to get Chris on them for you. Why does LMT have 4 or 5 little holes in the top 1913 rail sections?
They do. The holes in the front are going to be the QD points. I don't know if that's what you're referring to as the QD points on the front at 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. You have QDs, and then right in front of ejection port, you'll have 2 also, which are QD points. I don't know if that's what you're talking about.
Chris, can you explain post-sample rifles? How on earth is it possible that an LE government agency is looking to acquire AK-47s and Tommy guns, etc.?
Law enforcement they can get whatever the hell that they want. AKs, training tools. What happens with a lot of them is they'll get them in crime type guns. They'll get them and then they'll transfer them over and keep them in their armories and use them for training. But all you have to do is say demonstration. I'm going to be demonstrating these to law enforcement or whatever. They don't really have to justify other than saying that they're going to be using it in the course of their business. That's really all that they have to do.
He means on top of the pick rail, there's holes in the LMT MRP uppers. I don't know why either.
Hold on a second.
You can't bring a gun on.
No, I'm just going to take a look.
You've been banned. Let's not use that word. Banned's not a good word here.
Oh, those are just vent holes. Those are just vent holes for circulating air. That's just for ventilation. They're not threaded.
Aaron, thank you for your donation on Donor Box. I did not see a question attached to it. I did send you an email to see if you had one. If after the chat you did have a question, please let me know, and we'll answer it for you after the chat. Some people just forget to put the question in the comment section. Some people just, oh, Fortnite, bro, you're in the wrong room, buddy. We talk about real guns, not like fake ones. 6, 7.
Boy, she's got seven confirmed.
You said in one video that the British did not want the L129A1 to be chambered for M11A8LR. Why is that? And does the round not fit in the LMT's 18-inch stainless steel 1 in 11.25-inch RH5R barrel?
Oh, absolutely. It'll fire all of them. It doesn't have it's not like the original SR25s where it had to use the M118 or the 168 or the 175 grain. The British wanted to be able to have the rifle take ammunition that they could take out of a machine gun belt, so they didn't have to have a specific kind of ammunition. They wanted it to be accurate with their standard ball ammunition. They did use match grade ammunition, absolutely, but they did not want the integrity of the gun to be altered if all they had access to was the ball ammunition. So they could go both ways and get very good accuracy.
Save the tatas and don't go to the range with Chris. He's just sick enough that he probably enjoyed it. Oh, look, here's a burn mark from an AR-15, Hey, Adnan.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, Fortniter went down. Yeah.
I'm actually quite interested in firing this 350 Legend. I've had that. I've been, sorry, since this outbreak started, I haven't been to the range for the last 7-8 weeks, whatever it's been.
Maybe that's why he's been so moody.
Could be. So I'm anxious to get out and test that one out too and see what that one does.
I'm anxious for him to go out and test fire too. Is a double stacked inherently more reliable than a single stack magazine? And the thoughts on the Glock 43X versus Glock 19?
Double column magazines are more reliable. In pistols, just due to the way that the design is, you see them go from double to single. So it presents one round, in the center rather than on each side. For rifles, that's why you have a left and a right feed ramp on them for that reliability. They're also the double stack magazines are significantly easier to load. You don't have to slide the rounds underneath the feed lips and slide back with a double column magazine. You just put it in the middle and push down. They're much easier to load. Those of you who are familiar with the MP40s and the M3 grease guns, they had to have tools to be able to load them because they were so hard to load. Then you compare that to, say, an MP5 or Colt pattern, or even any type double column magazine. They're much easier to load.
Are you not continuing the crime series videos anymore? I really enjoy them. You must be just joining the chat.
Yes.
We did talk about that at the very beginning, just as a quick update. We have a new one that is actually coming up on Saturday. It is what I said, I believe, because crime series is my personal, close to my heart, near and dear. It's something that I've really wanted to do for a long time. And I enjoy putting those together more than anything. And I think it gives a whole different content creation to the channel, and I don't see them going away. And I think the best one is coming up on Saturday, so you're going to see that on Saturday. So absolutely not.
I have a question here I want to go after.
Steve, thank you so much. #1 fan.
It's the one right below him.
Okay. Why isn't POF more widely known?
I think it has a lot to do with the owner. Frank DeSama, well, first off, of course you have price, which is a major issue. And two is his inherent personality. He's not really able to hold on to really good sales and marketing people. He's lost some of the better ones in the industry just due to his personality. And that personality I think has hurt him with a lot of potential sales and so forth. So quite frankly, I believe that has a lot to do with it. It's the way the owner communicates, and the fact that he's hard enough on his employees that they leave. They had one of the ladies, Monica. She was a sweetheart. She came from LMT, and she sold millions of dollars worth of guns for LMT. She was incredible, and they offered her a good deal. So she went there. She only lasted there about a year before she said she goes, I can't deal with this, and she moved on. They just lost Tony Tarantino, which he'd been with them a long time, and he finally, jumped ship. I mean, it had made deserves into the Republican Guard during the Gulf War, so I think that has a lot to do with it.
He said, great to hear that you're doing them again. We're never not going to do them. It's just a matter of like, I want to film it and we have some ready to go. And Chris says he wants to film something. So he kind of gets priority unless I'm like, no,
we have stuff for several.
And this time I did too. This time when I came into film, I was like, I'm not filming anything until I get a crime series.
I have 3 guns
so
ready
we'll
to
always
go.
be filming them. It's just, a matter of if other things come in that he gets excited about, or if we have to rush something back out. So we have to.
I have three of these crime guns in my range bag to go to the range. I got a
Brandon Brandon from the gun room. If you guys are in Houston area, if you need something, Brandon from the gun room in Shenandoah is absolutely amazing. And he has been such a big advocate and component in helping create the platform to do this series, because it was something that I wanted to do as far as getting into his forensic time. And, nobody has that online. And when and then these guns that he doesn't really like, but, we don't, some of you want to sit there and watch half an hour of him shitting on a gun, and that might be fun, but to take a different spin on it where he's not so miserable filming it and it actually has some real value to it, especially in what it does serve. So Brandon is amazing, and he's definitely hooking me up with all of those guns. So that series will not be going away.
In the shooting bag, I got a Lorson, I got a Charter Arms.
Sure, he's excited to have all of that.
A Charter Arms 38 Special, and I have, I think, a couple Caltex. And there's a Star pistol in there as well. So we have several stuff ready to go. I just have to get range footage.
And at least 1 or 2 of the range footage on this video for Saturday, he turns the gun sideways. So yep. You also definitely pay attention to the range footage, because I actually laughed because you can see like the disdain in his face. He's just kind of like, oh.
That's bringing back freaking nightmares.
You can tell he's just like, or he's just kind of like laughing, like, this gun sucks. You can tell that's what he's.
Every time those came into the lab, I would just shake my head. It's like, I know this is going to be a pain in the ass. I'm going to have to fix something to get the thing to work.
But I think because it's wrapped into a component of something that he did, that he can understand the value of doing it. And it's not been easy getting him to film it. Definitely been a lot of fighting on our side as far as even when we do film it, because it's not exactly what I want to hear him talking about, because he's not excited about it. So I'm trying to get him to step him back into the crime lab.
You got Martin Scorsese's wife over here.
You're welcome, guys. You're welcome. This is what I put up with. No, I just want him to bring some of that story and that life from the firearms into, tabletop, instead of, him just being, welcome to Small Arm Solutions. We got a great gun here for you. I want him to be more like, into it and a different spin than what's normally done. So it's been a long quarantine. I'm just gonna pick up my drink. And Nelson on Donor Box. Thank you so much, Nelson. He says, Heather, I just want to congratulate you on 50,000 subscribers.
Thank you.
For a great channel and for surviving, quote, beard measured in meters.
Yeah, actually it's got a little shorter, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was growing it out during the quarantine, and when he starts pulling it and like folding it into his mouth, I'm like, I can't. That's so gross. Like, so I of course had to cut his hair, and he was like, "You're just trimming it, right?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm totally just."
I see like a 3 inches fall down.
He's like taking it
lap.
off. I think you look better. You don't look like Sasquatch anymore. There's Steve's question. Do you have any manufacturer preference on lower parts kits?
I use a lot of Colton LMT. These are military grade manufacturers, so I know that the stuff's not going to be rejects. Also, I've gotten some stuff from, let me see. I've gotten some stuff from Diamondback, I think it is. I guess it's from Diamondback. I've gotten some stuff from Double Star also. I I tend generally just to go with L&T and Colt for the most part. Attack terriers.
Interesting content in the crime. Absolutely interesting content in the crime series. Um, and you guys will have to let me know too. You can absolutely send me an email after. You can send me an email at h4talk@smallarm solutions after you watched it on Saturday, and tell me what you think, because like I really do think he did a lot. He did. I mean, I've had to scream at him and abuse him a little bit.
There was a lot of stories, I guess, in that one.
Yeah.
More so than normal.
So let me know or comment in the video and let me know what you guys think of it, because I definitely had to hurt him a little bit in order to get that kind of content out in there. But I think it's interesting. And this is good too. What shotgun would have to be included in the crime series? Because I've heard this before.
New England Arms single shots, Mossberg Mavericks.
Brandon,
really,
Brandon's not on tonight.
really old.
Brandon later.
A lot of those those older ones. Remington 870 Express type.
Stop. We don't like each other. It's quarantine. Like each other. Can we legally do like a sawed-off shotgun?
No. Brandon would have to
fucking gun laws.
We're talking to Brandon about that, with him being a SOT.
If Brandon's like here on the premises, can we do it? I mean, he's a police officer. Still no.
Oh well, we talked to him.
That would be kind of.
Brandon's he is incredibly resourceful.
Is Colt any good now?
I'm not going to say they're not good now. I'm going to say that they don't manufacture their own parts in house anymore. That quality control is not where it used to be. Are those guns going to work? Oh yeah, I've not heard anybody complain about the guns not working. Colt makes incredible rifles that are mass produced. In fact, I think they're probably one of the best companies in our history of manufacturing small arms that's been able to mass produce a firearm as reliable and with the quality that they do. So I do believe that that you're not going to get. You shouldn't be getting a bad Colt. The only thing that I've been telling you all along was it's not like it was before. It wasn't when they made those parts in house where they had complete control. They've gotten cheap. They laid off a lot of people. Their normal lines that they used to have, which made them special, are not open any longer. The thing that made them special was mil spec, which they controlled in house. That's what the difference is. You're not going to get bad Colt products in rifles. Python, that's a whole different ballgame. I'm still waiting to get my hands on a Python to do a comparison between that and one of the ones from 1973 that I have. But and of course, because the Colt politics, anything that you had that's hard for horsey on it is going to be worth more money. It's going to become a collector's item now because they're not making them for the public any longer.
Gary liked my comment about the gun laws. When I drink, you guys get to see more of my personality that I hold back.
And more of her face.
More of my face. I don't care anymore. Oh, he also said, speaking of Bigfoot, ...
Yes, as I said, my health. Hopefully, my health at some point will improve, and we'll get one of those meals where I can go out and I actually want to go out to California, but they banned my guns in California to go hunting because that's where that big Bigfoot sighting was.
There was a new one.
No, this is the original one. The original the one that was filmed.
That one.
The skeptics like you who didn't know what they're
the one. The guys in the ghillie suit.
No.
Yeah.
She'll learn. One day she'll learn.
What happened to that show called Finding Bigfoot?
But Bobo got sick. He got cancer. So there were some health issues there.
Maybe because they just couldn't find Bigfoot anymore.
Cool.
And then
absolutely
cool. If you guys have Amazon Prime where you have like the TV stuff, it's not like Netflix where it's like you have your own like sub, people that can go on there. So all my recommendations, because they're all the same, every time I go on there, it's like, you want to watch about finding Sasquatch or aliens. And I'm
Laugh it up. All the information coming out on aliens right now, where the government's.
I believe in aliens before I believe in Sasquatch. I believe in Nessie before I believe in Sasquatch. Hell, I believe in unicorns.
As smart as she is, she can be ignorant.
Our YHM upper is decent enough to rely on.
Yes. Yankee Hill Machine is one of those companies that manufactures a lot of their components in-house. Same thing with Diamondback. Diamondback is one you're going to be seeing on my ARs on a budget. Diamondback's another one of those companies I think is very, very rated. They manufacture a lot of their stuff in house, and they make good products.
Sean says Bigfoot is in the Great White North for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Unfortunately, now I can't go there with my rifles either.
Maybe that ban was to protect him. I mean, just a thought. Thoughts on the Army adopting the new Mark II ASR, the Barrett MRAD?
Excellent weapon. I can't see any negatives to that. Ronnie Barrett stepped up his game. Well, he's always stepped up his game. What am I saying? But he's expanded into machine guns and more of the the AR type rifles, and he's really moving forward on different platforms.
Apparently, there's a YouTuber that does great Bigfoot videos. He's a good storyteller. That's
Scientist.
That's what he said. He says he's a great storyteller. It's okay, Chris. They're real. Why did the U.S. Go for a 40 millimeter grenade launcher instead of sticking with rifle grenades its allies were using?
That's an interesting question. The grenade launcher is far more practical than it is the rifle grenade, because you're not having to carry around blanks. You're not having to mix and match your ammunition. It's safer. I believe that having a 40 millimeter is far more accurate than the standard rifle grenades. I don't see any negatives to getting rid of the muzzle grenades. The 40 millimeter is a much more effective and much more accurate system.
Okay, well, I think we're going to shut it down for the night, guys. I hope that we answered at least the majority of your questions, and we'll probably see you next week.
Thank you very much.
And let me know what you think about the new crime series. Hopefully,
yeah, I'm actually quite proud. She did an awesome job putting that one together.
I think it's the best one yet.
Take care. Have a good night.
Say good night, Chris.
Have a good evening.